Hey everybody, this is Charles Blair, the mad scientist, and I'm with Mastermind student extraordinaire, Vernon Bond. And Vernon, first of all, say hello to everybody, my man.
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
And Vernon and his partner, Nicole, has really grasped one of the main strategies that a lot of people seem to have issues with, and that's the LLC close. Now, we're going to go a little bit into that process, but mainly I want Vernon to go ahead and introduce himself to everybody and let them know exactly what your business looked like, Vernon.
Yeah, no problem. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, my name is Vernon Bond. Our company name is the Bond and Butler Group. Nicole, she's my business partner. She's my right hand in the business. We've been in business together about almost 2 years now, but combined, we've been in real estate a long time. I started off my career flipping houses about 6-7 years ago. And then I eventually grew into doing other things in real estate, not only flipping, but wholesaling, being a landlord. We're also realtors. So we manage a team of realtors as well. So we're kind of like a full circle real estate company.
Now, how long have you been in the mastermind now, Vernon?
A year and a half now.
Now, you said something very important because I think that one of the things I think that both of you guys, Nicole and yourself, are realtors, right?
Yep.
One of the things that I think is going to really happen to our industry sooner or later, there's going to be strong push against wholesalers across the nation.
I think that's realistic. Yeah.
Because right now in Philadelphia, you have to be licensed to be a wholesaler. A couple other states around the country, you have to be licensed to be a wholesaler.
Yeah, that's news to me. Cool. I knew Chicago or Illinois, but Philly too. Yeah. So it's a wave that's going to come.
Yeah, Philly just adapted it, I think about a month and a half ago. And you have to go through licensing just like as like a real estate agent.
Gotcha.
So from my understanding of what's going on there, it was really brought upon because of real estate agents. And we're intruding in their, for lack of a better word, pocketbooks. So that's something that I definitely highly recommend you guys. If you have the wherewithal, you may want to start thinking about getting your real estate license, because I think it's really going to be something that's going to be sweeping across the nation like a tidal wave in 2021. Yeah. To get off of the legislative side of this business, I want to really concentrate on what you guys are doing in the business and how you've really rev up your marketing and so on, even though we're in a pandemic that has really paralyzed a lot of investors in 2020. What are some of the things that you guys have adapted that you may not have been doing 2019 that now your business look like?
So one thing that we have focused on this year is focusing more on the market. And what I mean by that is focusing on what deals are out there on the MLS. Look, I was one of the people that didn't believe there was any deals out there on the MLS. Everything has got to be off market. Now, well, we do off market marketing as well. But earlier this year, I looked back and tried to reverse engineer some of the big deals that we did. And I found that some of the deals that we did were on the market at some point. Right. Now, we didn't find them on the market. That's not how we found them, but they were on the market at some point, and they were on the market probably at a higher price point within the last 6 months. So knowing that we closed those deals, knowing that they were on the market at some point previously, then we realized, hey, we need to look at the market, because there's some deals out there that we can, give offers to, not at the price they're priced at, but give an offer to the seller at a price that they can stomach and that they're okay with, and we can make a deal and we can do a deal. So that's something that we focused on a little bit more this year. And there is hanging fruit out there. And, the deal we just closed, we found on the market. We just had to move really fast.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point, because when you reverse engineer opportunities that are out there now, and just look at some of the deals that rehabbers has closed on, you're going to find some very strong characteristics. For example, an expired property, somebody that was previously in foreclosure, or it could be somebody that was either in bankruptcy or a vacant property. And by reverse engineering those success stories, you're able to really come up with a methodology that will allow you to accelerate your deal flow. For example, expired listings. So I think you're absolutely on point with that. And let's talk about one of your favorite strategies for closing deals, and that's the LLC close. Let's talk about the first deal just a little bit, go over what that deal looked like, and then we're going to go deep in details with this last deal you guys just did.
Yeah, the first LLC close we did was earlier this year, 2019. I'm sorry, 2020. And this deal was a probate deal. The owner had passed away. There was
Right.
an estate. The estate opened up a probate case, and there was actually a foreclosure as well. So actually, the bank actually opened up the estate. The foreclosing bank opened up the estate and appointed an attorney to to handle the estate and sell the property. The attorney hired a realtor to list the property, and it was listed on the market probably 150 grand over what anybody was willing to pay.
Yeah.
Now, Nicole and I ended up writing an offer directly to the attorney who was handling the estate, and he presented the offer to the bank, and we went back and forth with negotiations. Now, we offered them 150 grand below where they were listed. But
Now
knowing
stop for a second. Stop for a
yeah,
second. The fact that you offered them $150,000 below what they originally had the property listed at would have made other people say, "Man, there's no deal there."
yeah,
What gave you guys the idea to offer $150,000 less than what the actual property was listed for?
because we knew the property was in terrible shape. We're also, being a realtor gives us another insight on the business. We know that the bank is only in it for numbers. There's no emotion attached to this. So
Right.
it was on the market for a very long time, and at the end of the day, the bank's not in the business of holding real estate. They need to sell it. So for us, it was, 5-minute time frame to write up an offer, and if they turn it down, it's 5 minutes, whatever. It only cost us 5 minutes of our time to write an offer and submit it, and it was worth it. So, and we knew the property needed a lot of work, and it was on the market for a very long time.
So in other words, you guys did your homework.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, that was the first one. Now, first of all, I said something earlier that I probably need to go a little bit details into. What we talk about is what we're saying is the LLC close. I
Yep.
want to keep on saying LLLL. And the reason why I'm saying it is because I just did a video about the BRRR strategy. So I
Got
keep
you.
on to add extra L's to that.
Yeah.
But the LLC close is a way in which a property that is listed on the MLS, you as an investor could use this particular strategy and wholesale it, even though it's listed on the MLS. Now, the last one we just talked about was a deal that you guys closed. When was it?
We just closed last week, a week ago.
So you closed this deal a week ago, and let's give them a little bit more details about this one. What
Okay.
neighborhood was this one in?
This was in Brentwood, which is a very popular neighborhood in Prince George's County. It's literally right outside of Washington, D.C. I believe there's actually a Brentwood in D.C. So a lot of people think when they hear Brentwood, they usually associate it with D.C., but Brentwood, Maryland is the neighborhood.
And how did you find it?
This deal was on the market. It's very interesting. I woke up that morning not feeling good, actually. I think it was a Monday, and I wasn't feeling good. And I'm usually at work, working at my desk by 7 o'clock, which that might not be early for you. I know you get up a lot earlier than me, but usually I'm working by 7 a.m. And this day I wasn't feeling well. I rolled out of bed. I didn't get out of bed until like 9 o'clock. Went onto the couch, grabbed my computer, and was just, kind of working. And I got an email an alert in my inbox about a property that just hit the market. Now, I you know, being a realtor, I'm also able to set up alerts for properties that hit the market that fall within a certain criteria. So I automatically get emails on properties in DC or Prince George's County that are under 250,000. That I don't care what it is, I get the alert. You know, it may not be a deal, but at least I get the alert and I look at it. So
hold on a second, guys. You just heard that. He just gave you a secret ninja strategy of going after opportunities by having your realtor that is a part of your team, or if you're a realtor, by setting up alerts on a daily basis. And the criteria he's mentioned was areas that he know that if it's $200,000, PG County, Washington, D.C., he knows that that's going to be a home run if he gets that deal on the contract.
Yep.
So that's a great strategy that you just gave out there, my friend.
Thanks. Yeah, so I got the alert. I looked at it. I scratched my head and said, why is this house so cheap? I knew the neighborhood, detached house. And I'm like, it was priced, I think, at 225. Yeah, 225. And I said, something's got to be up with this house. So I called the realtor as soon as I saw it. Spoke to the realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Realtor was a good, cool guy. He said that it was an estate sale in this case as well, and the family needed to sell. They lived down in Georgia, and they needed to sell fast. And they priced it because they want someone to close on it in 2 weeks and pay cash. So I went out and saw the property, even though I wasn't feeling well. And you can't in this business, you can't wait. You can't push it off till tomorrow. You can't say, hey, I'll check it out later this afternoon. I got that deal because I was the first one there. I got that first offer in. I was the first one to get the offer in, and I pretty much called them every hour until they signed the contract.
So let's look at that time frame. Let's look at that time frame. You saw the property. From the point where you saw that property and you went to the property and you put the offer in, how much time expired?
Ooh, probably looking at maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
The property was about 15 minutes from my house. So I got there. I literally, and the funny thing, my wife was upstairs and she knew I wasn't feeling well, and she saw me coming upstairs putting clothes on, and she's like, where are you going? And I said, I'm about to go check out this house. I gotta go see it. So I got there in 15 minutes. I called the realtor as soon as I got there. I said, look, I want this property. I said, give me about 30 to 45 minutes to get back home, get you this offer, and let's get a deal done.
Okay. So 2 hours later, offer was sent to the actual realtor. What happened next?
So he presented the offer to the sellers. They verbally accepted it. They didn't want, they just didn't want their time wasted. That's why they priced it well. They priced it so that they can close this property within the next 2 weeks. And I gave them what they wanted. I gave them the price they wanted. I gave them the time frame they wanted. I gave them no contingencies. I gave them what they wanted, so they accepted it, and they didn't need to, wait for anything different or waiting for anything better.
Yeah, one of the things I tell you guys about being or dealing with sellers is that people will trade equity for peace of mind all day long. And in this situation, it was a situation where it was an estate sale, right?
Yep.
And they didn't really have an emotional attachment to that property, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, no, not at
So
all.
they had no problem discounting it X amount of thousands of dollars because all they wanted was a quick result.
Yep.
And that's where you came in. Now, the challenge was the fact that it was listed on the MLS.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
So that's where the problem came in, or the hurdle we had to overcome. In this business, there's problems every day, but you just got to overcome them. So in this case, the sellers didn't want to sign my, after we verbally agreed, they just didn't want to sign the contract that I gave them. And it wasn't the issue of the terms, it was the actual contract. Now, in my business, I use the same contract, whether I'm buying a house to flip it or whether I'm buying a house to wholesale it, or whether I'm buying a house to hold on to it. It's the same contract. I just have clauses in my contract that allow me to do different exit strategies.
Right.
So now they saw my contract and they saw that it was only about 2.5 pages. And one of the sellers, or one of the family members of the sellers, I think had their real estate license or had some experience in real estate. So when they saw the contract, they were afraid or hesitant to sign it because they didn't know what, they didn't like that I had so many exit strategies that I could wholesale this thing or I could buy it myself. And they wanted security that this deal was going to close and that I wasn't going to just, try to wholesale it. And then if I fail, then I just walk away from it and they're left holding, the bag and their time is wasted. So they were hesitant to sign that contract. They wanted me to sign a regular real estate retail contract that you would see with any realtor involved real estate transaction.
And I remember when you called me about this deal, I said, Charles, this is what's going on, yada, yada, yada. Man, how are we going to the thing about this deal that was so appealing was the fact that you knew that if you could get over this one hurdle, home run.
Yes.
Grand slam. It was just this one hurdle. Now, tell how we resolved it.
So with them wanting us to sign a regular retail contract, if you're not aware, most retail contracts have clauses in there that prohibit you from wholesaling or assigning the contract without the consent of everybody in the transaction.
Now, just to let you guys know, a contract that does not specifically say you can't do something, legally you can do it. So if that contract hadn't said you can't assign it, you could actually assign it by way of law. Since the contract said, basically we're talking about the Board of Realtors contract, since it had in there that it wasn't assignable, then it was like, okay, what do we do next?
Yeah. So we decided to, since they wanted us to sign their contract, we decided to do an LLC sale contract. It was the same contract, but an LLC assignment transaction where we created an LLC as the buyer. And we just basically used the property address and created the LLC. And then we decided to sell the LLC and its rights to buy that property to an end buyer. So that was the way around doing an assignment contract. Because an assignment contract typically is two contracts. You have one with the seller, then you have one with the buyer, and then you present both contracts to the title company. In this case, there's only one contract, and that one contract prohibits you from assigning the actual contract. But buying the property through an LLC and selling the LLC is a good different strategy, and it's not the same thing.
Now, I just want to let you guys, we're going to step back a little bit because I know some of you guys are probably wondering, well, Charles, he was a realtor to begin with. Why didn't he just use the realtor contract? Because when you are a realtor, of course, first of all, there's full disclosure. You had to let the person know that you was a realtor.
Exactly.
But when you're going into that transaction, you have to determine which hat you're going to wear. Yep. You can't wear both hats in that transaction. You have to say, on this deal, I'm going to wear the real estate investor hat, or I'm going to wear the real estate agent hat. And that's how you have to present yourself, correct?
Yeah, 100%.
And so Vernon and his partner decided, okay, this is the deal. We're going to wear the real estate investor hat. So when we wear that real estate investor hat, we use our real estate investing paperwork. And that's how the dilemma came about. So you guys decided to do the LLC close. Now, the LLC close, guys, is a fantastic way in which you can buy properties that are listed, or should I say, I keep saying the word buy, control properties, then wholesale them that are listed on the MLS. This doesn't just have to be a regular deal where the homeowner is selling. It could be foreclosed, pre-foreclosed properties. It could be short sale properties. You can use the LLC close on any of these type of deals on the MLS. Now, tell us about the deal, the numbers. What did that deal look like, and how that deal really came to fruition of closing?
So the sale price with the seller was $225,000. Okay. And that's what intrigued me to even go look at it, because $225,000 in that neighborhood was a steal. Houses were selling for anywhere from $500,000 to $700,000. Renovated. So I knew it was a deal. We ended up finding a buyer for $260,000. And to be honest with you, we probably could have got a higher buyer at a higher price, but we ended up going with a buyer that we had a relationship with already. And also he agreed to list the property with us when the property was fully renovated, which we don't do that on every transaction.
Right.
You know, it's really a case by case, and really depends on who the buyer is, and whether we even want to work for them when when it's time to list the house. But we sold it to a buyer at 260, and we had it under contract at 225.
So it's about $35,000 profit.
Yes.
Now let's look at this. Let's look at this equation. One of the reasons why you decided to leave as much meat on the bone as you did is because you only had 2 weeks to close.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that means you couldn't go out there and grab 2-3 weeks worth of marketing to find the highest price. Nothing wrong with that at all.
You're most definitely.
Now, 2 weeks to make $35,000 ain't a bad payday.
Not at all.
On a deal that you didn't even own, you just had under contract.
Exactly.
Let's dig a little bit deep on this deal. Let's look at all the meat that was on that actual bone. How much you think the rehabber is going to sell it for?
He's going to sell it for probably, if he keeps the property as is and just remodels the current house, he'll sell it for $550,000.
And that's just, hey, that's his profit.
Exactly.
I can't go into his pocket. That's his profit.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yep.
You are happy with the 30. Go ahead.
Now, so he'll make $100,000 on the renovation on that side of the flip. Yeah.
Right. And that's just as is.
Yeah.
Now, some of them guys out there are asking themselves, man, 35,000, 100,000. What made you guys decide to take the quick money as opposed to the long game?
Well, I always take the quick nickel is better than the long dime for me. And honestly, I'm working on a project right now.
Right.
You know, if you check out my YouTube, you see you can see everything I'm doing. And
give them your YouTube channel. Let people know your YouTube channel is.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Check us out. Our YouTube channel is REI Game Changers. That's REI Game Changers on YouTube. We cover everything from flipping to wholesaling to being a landlord to being a realtor. And then we also just do general real estate videos, like lifestyle that people want to see. So we're kind of like not necessarily all over the place, but we're more welcoming anybody, all walks of life when it comes to real estate. Our channel will be good for anyone. So.
And I highly recommend it, guys. So definitely give them a subscribe and follow them. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Now, you were saying as far as the projects you're working on, that was the reason why you decided to go the direction that you did. Yeah.
So we're very busy right now. You know, I'm working on a project. We're growing a real estate team. We're wholesaling. You know, we're about to launch our real estate course. We're so busy. And this would not be a quick flip. You know, it'd probably be a 6-month flip. So at the time, I just didn't want to take on a large project until I finish up this one I'm working on now. So it's all about balance. And I'd rather, you know, take the quick nickel than a long dime. And that's a mistake that I ran into a few years ago, trying to bite off more than I can chew. And it almost took me out.
Yeah. That was prior to you starting with us, man. Yeah, I remember you talking about that, how the early or the long run really caused you to really doubt if you wanted to move forward.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward 1.5 years later, what does your business look like? I mean, how many deals you guys done, so forth?
This year, on a wholesale side, we've probably done about 8 or 9 wholesales. On the retail side, probably double that. On the retail side. And then, so we have our wholesaling operation. We have our retail side where we, you know, help buyers and sellers find, you know, houses for them to live in, or, you know, people that want to list their house.
Right.
We help those as well. And then I have a few rental properties that I manage. And that's really how our business is set up. You know, we have wholesale, retail, and then also I flip. So I also flip houses too. Now I usually only do one, maybe two flips at a time, but I try to limit myself to just one or two projects.
Let's dive back in a little bit on the LLC close.
Mm-hmm.
How important is that strategy to you and your business?
It's pretty big. It put probably almost $100,000 in income in our business this year. So very good strategy. Yeah.
Got you. And of course, the key is just knowing the process and having a good title company to work with.
Yeah.
What has been one of the things that you've learned over your last year and a half that you could say, man, if you guys want to be successful in the business, do this?
Oh, there's a lot of those things,
Mm-hmm. And you can
but
give as many as you like.
Really taking action. That's one. Consistency, consistently doing the things that you know that you need to do to be successful. Finding whether it's a mentor or finding someone who is in the business that can give you some type of guidance, whether you pay for it or whether you pay for it with your time, whatever.
Right.
You one of the things that hurt me when I first started my real estate career was I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have anyone showing me the ropes. I mean, there's a lot of information out there online, a lot of free information, but at the end of the day, until you have somebody who can kind of help you nurture the business, and someone that you can just run ideas off of, someone that you can learn from their mistakes, that's really a great way to accelerate the business. Having someone, now you don't need someone, but having someone does accelerate the business. And consistently, just being consistent, just not quitting. This business, you can get frustrated very quickly and want to quit very easily, but staying consistent is another thing.
Last but not least, what's next for you and Nicole?
Next for us is pretty much focusing on the things that we're doing, that we built this year, and just focusing on them so they blossom into something larger. We have a real estate course that will be dropping January 1st. It's a real estate course. It's called the 400K Blueprint. It shows you pretty much what Nicole and I did in our first year of business to make the money that we made. There's plenty of things out there to make, plenty of strategies to wholesaling real estate. I'm sorry, that's what the focus is, wholesaling real estate. There's plenty of strategies on how to wholesale real estate. And we are focusing on our course on what we did. We met you probably a year after we started our business. so we were.
That's amazing, man. I mean, that's amazing. $400,000 in 1 year. That's amazing.
And it's a no BS course, just strictly focused on what Nicole and I did. You don't have to have a marketing budget of $5,000 to $10,000.
I know.
Actually, our course, you can actually do the business that we did with $1,000, and our course teaches you that. So that's really the next thing we're going to unveil come January, and hopefully it helps out a lot of people who are struggling to really get started in the business.
Well, first of all, I know it will, because I had the opportunity to look at some of the stuff that you guys are bringing out, and I know damn well it's going to be really a game changer for people that really take advantage of the information. And you said something very important. It's not just about buying something, it's about implementing. Yep. You have to take action. And that's the key. I mean, it's been an honor being you guys' mentor over the last year and a half, and I'm looking to see great things for you. I mean, you and Nicole. It's just so delightful when you see or work with people who you can say, okay, they got it. They got it. They know how to do it. And not only that, I like using the term guru. I hate that term guru. Yeah. A guru is somebody that can teach you, that is also doing it.
Yeah.
And you guys are true gurus. And I take my hat off to both of you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for, showing us everything that you've taught us in the last year and a half. I remember when I first when I stumbled across your event in Baltimore. Just happened to stumble across it, and I went to the event. And I actually walked into the event thinking I knew a lot and I knew everything. And I think 5 to 10 minutes in, I was sitting there with my jaw on the floor, like, wow, this guy knows so much that I don't know, and I just got to figure out how to get close to this guy because I need to learn what he knows. And that's what it was. And I'm just glad you've been in my corner, helping support, showing me some guidance. That's what I really do appreciate.
No problem at all, man. With that being said, guys, I want to thank Vernon for being here today. Any last words you want to give out to everybody before you leave?
Sure. Yeah. I just want to thank everyone for, listening to us talk about, my business and the different things that we do in our business. Go check us out on YouTube, REI Game Changers. That's probably the best place to see everything that we're doing.
And if somebody want to send you opportunities, how they reach out to you?
You can also send me an email at bond.butlergroup@gmail.com. That's bond, BOND, .butlergroup@gmail.com. And we can respond there. Or you can go to our YouTube and leave comments on certain things. And I try to respond to every comment. So far, I've been able to keep up with about 90% response rate.
Right.
So,
and don't forget, guys, subscribe REI Game Changer on YouTube, REI Game Changer on YouTube. Thank you, Vernon. This is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.